Welcome back, guys. My name is Fernandoherrera and it is a Mobile Van Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about the options of operating the actual van. Will it be you? Will it be your friend? Or will it be an employee that you would just hire? In my channel, every Wednesday, I talk about how to open up a business from scratch. Pretty much these past weeks, we've been talking about how to open your own mobile van tire shop. If you haven't seen all the other videos, there are other parts. This is part 5 of the series, so feel free to check them out so that you don't miss on any sort of content, especially because I will be making some reference to some of those other videos. Also, if you're feeling generous today, please help me out with smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribing so that you never miss any sort of content from my channel. So if you remember, on the part 2 of this series, I spoke about having a plan, and in this plan we had to think about who was going to operate the van. Was it going to be you? Was it going to be an employee? Was it going to be a friend? And so in this video, I'm going to go over the 2 options you really only have in order to operate the actual van. I'll explain the 2 options, I'll give the pros and the cons, and I'll also give some tips on the things that I would look out for and encourage you to look out for as well. Now, the first option we're going to have right here is operating the van yourself. Now, while this might be the easiest and fastest way to start because you don't need to hire anyone and you don't really need to train or do anything else, you need to know how to change a tire, and obviously you need to be aware of how the tire industry works. If you don't have this experience, it's definitely going to be a challenge for you. The last situation in the world you want to be in is being stuck in the middle of someone's home or a parking lot or in the middle of a highway, and you just don't know what to do or how to get this tire back into the rim. And it's just a very bad feeling that I've had before that you just don't want to be in. However, I do want to share the large amount of benefits of operating the van yourself. First, you will have a lot of reliability because you're counting on yourself. So normally you won't have to be dealing with people calling in sick, which happens a lot. You won't have to be dealing with rescheduling appointments because your technician or your employee couldn't make it. And it will streamline some of the operation as well because you're the one taking in the calls and doing the work. So normally when you say something, it's most likely gonna be that way unless something radical changes. Second, it saves you money because you don't have to pay for a salary for another person. You would definitely want to leave the profits within the company and then make a profit distribution back to yourself, so that you could report those income as a self-employment income at the end of the year. So, that could save you some money on payroll tax as well. But the main point I do want to make in this second benefit is that you are not going to be pressured or stressed to break even or to make more money or revenue because you have someone on payroll. It's going to be a lot less stress if it's only yourself. And as long as you're satisfied with the income you're getting, then you're good, rather than having someone on the payroll that you're now forced to generate to pay them, and then whatever's left is yours. So definitely a lot less stress if you're just starting out. The third benefit could be actually a benefit or not really, so it depends on who you ask or the situation, but it's really a flexible schedule. With the mobile tire service, you often get calls out of nowhere, but then sometimes you just don't have any calls, and so you have the ability to spend more time with your family, and you do have the ability to work on other stuff. The only problem with that is that, again, if you do have plans on doing something, sometimes you do get those calls that will pay you pretty good money to go out and work. And so you have to decide if you want to give up that revenue that your business really needs, or if you just want to go ahead and stick to your plans. Now, I personally started working in the van myself because I wanted to get a good grasp of how it works and what are the struggles that my future employees could face. Not to mention, it also gives me good perspective on what's hard and what's not so hard, so that when I'm pricing customers, I can price them more accurately, or if someone's asking for a discount, I can definitely know if it's worth the discount or if it's simply not worth the job for us to do. I also find out the challenges that my employees will be facing, such as In Las Vegas in summer, it gets up to 118 degrees outside, and inside that van, I'm sure it gets probably like 120 degrees because it's just really, really hot. So there comes a point where it doesn't matter how much you're making, you do get burned out. And so with this being in mind, I'm more gentle and courteous to my technicians and allowing them to catch a break or get some water or something like that. As I mentioned before, I would say the only disadvantage of working on the mobile tire shop yourself would be simply the unpredictability of your schedule. So again, you're really up for the schedule of others. If somebody breaks down or if somebody gets a tire, you're gonna have to get that call and you're gonna have to go and service them. And so it kind of sucks when you were wanting to eat dinner with your family or go out with some friends. But again, at the end of the day too, you will get some extra time. And so it's a win-lose kind of situation that you have to just bear with. The second option you could do is hiring someone straight off the bat that can operate the van for you. Now, this doesn't mean that you just sit back and enjoy and, go take a vacation. It actually still involves a lot of work because you're still responsible for customer service, phone intake, unless you're going to be training this person to do that as well. But keep in mind that the more tasks you give to this one specific person, yes, you do become more effective and more efficient, but it also becomes harder for them to train. And then if somebody does end up leaving, then you have to start all over again. And it just, it does require a lot of your time. Currently, I personally have one mobile tire technician that helps me with 90% of my workflow. And the other 10%, I have to do it because it's either days that he can't work or days that he has called off. And so again, you have to have a backup plan that you still have to come in, and rather than canceling the appointments, I just go out there and do them myself. I have been working for him for over 5 months and it's been working very well the way we've been doing it. And I'm going to share all the details of how I've been able to retain this person and paying him a fair wage, I guess, in a way that he's happy, I'm happy, and the business is also happy. I don't have him as a W-2 employee. I actually have him as a contractor where I pay him per appointment rather than a per hour basis, where he's just an employee just working in an hourly basis. He just gets my calls and saying, hey, I have 3-4 appointments. I'll pay you this much for all these appointments. And then he either accepts or declines. So for example, if I get a call from a retail customer asking for us to go and repair a tire, and then I get 3 cars from a dealership, then I'll go ahead and call this guy and I'll tell him, hey, look, I'm willing to pay you $180 for all 4 appointments. It should take you roughly 6 hours to complete. And then he has the option to, accept it or decline it. I will say that on average, he does take around $120 to $180 per day. And most of the time, he only works 5 to 6 hours on that specific shift. There are days where something breaks down, the van didn't work, or the customer's vehicle rim, something unpredictable happened, and you do have to, I guess, stay a little bit longer, or the job requires extra time to complete. But again, I normally don't pay them by the job. I pay them by the completion of the job. So this gives me peace of mind because no matter how long it takes the job to take or to do, I know that he's gonna be the same cost. And then he's also incentivized to work a little bit faster because I'm paying him 1 hour and a half to do 4 tires, which he could possibly do in 40 minutes. So if he could knock down 4 tires in 40 minutes, then now he has extra time to go and do another job or go and do another appointment. The idea is that once we do get busier and I have consistently 6 to 7 appointments on a daily basis, then it would make more sense to have a W-2 employee that I could just pay hourly, because it's just going to be much more affordable. Now, to find people, I normally start my search through Indeed. I'm sure you've guys seen some commercials from Indeed.com, but this is a great way that I've personally found most of my candidates. I will post a job ad in there. I will not pay any sort of sponsorship because I just never paid for it and I still get some good quality candidates. But I will put the job description and I will put also how much you're making. Normally, I will put anywhere between $25 to $35 per hour. And this is just to get some quality candidates coming in, because if you put $8 to $12 to $15, you're honestly not going to get anything that's good. And I'm not saying that those are bad employees. I'm just saying that based on the skill level that you need this employee to be at, you really want to have someone who knows what they're doing. It comes obvious that I only hire people who have experience changing tires and who know what they're doing, because again, you're investing $50,000 on a mobile van. The least you want to do is have someone who's going to be breaking your machines, driving your vehicle poorly. It's just, you know, kind of like a bad idea to invest on a really nice van and then not investing in the employee part aspect. Now, I do pay my employees daily. So for example, my mobile tire technician, if he makes $120 today, I'll cash app him the $120. And the cash app is linked to our business account. So it's not a personal account going to a personal account. It's my business account going to that person. And at the end of the year, we do a 1099 so that he can file his taxes as well as a contractor. Also, when I'm hiring people, I do an in-person interview. And during that in-person interview, I do explain that for them to take gloves and working clothes, because I like to put them on the job and on the test, really unmount a tire, mounting a tire, and balancing a tire. And I like to observe how confident they feel and how well they do the job, because that allows me to determine if they're really saying the truth about their experience or if they're really just, you know, lying. Once I do hire a person, I'll go over the procedures of how to work the van, how to operate the van, and I'll always show them some defensive driving videos just to make sure that they're aware that, you know, they want to be on the defensive side of driving, especially with such an expensive vehicle. Now, my van also does have a tracker, and it has a notification system that will notify me if they're harsh braking or if they're accelerating too quick or if they're speeding. So I would definitely recommend, if you're having a van, to probably install one of those. I personally use Verizon Connect. Not a big fan right now because their customer service is not that good, but you know, it does the job and it does it very well. Overall, those are the two options, guys, that we have for operating a mobile tire shop van. You know, you could work it up yourself or you could have someone work it for you. My tip personally to you would be, if possible, if it is possible for you to start yourself, that's the best way to start, because it's just less pressure and stress for you. And like I said before, you get a good understanding of what the business is about, you know, how it works, how the appointments work, how people like to pay, are we missing business? And, you know, it kind of gives you that first-hand experience that later on you could explain to people coming on board to your team. But again, if you are working the van yourself, you do want an exit strategy, because it will burn you out. It is a heavy job. It is a very labor-intensive job. And so, you know, I studied for accounting and I have been used to working in an office setting on a computer, and doing the mobile tire shop van for maybe 6 to 7 months, it really burned me out quick. So you want to make sure you have an exit plan. You want to make sure that you know when you're ready to hire that person and to actually start hiring them, so that you don't find yourself in a spiral of just crazy hectic days. Now, next week, we will be talking about customer service and how to answer all your phone calls and the best practices of, you know, being able to manage all the call inflows. And I'll be sharing my tips on how I manage to answer every single call that comes through my phone. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you have questions about, you know, anything. I do have a template about the job description I put on Indeed for new hires. So if you want that template, feel free to message me on Instagram or comment on the comment section below. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.